Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about how to become a tech lead. And first of all, let's start with some definitions. What is a tech lead? Well, a tech lead is essentially a technical leader. So, what does that mean? A technical leader in a team, a software engineering team specifically, is the person who is the responsible party to even hire technical leadership. So, let's say a VP of engineering, a software engineering manager, perhaps, or even a CTO, depending on the size of your organization. Now, what skills does a tech lead need to have? A tech lead will usually be the most senior person above the junior, the intermediate, and the senior developers that may be present on your team and may have a more well-rounded knowledge base and experience across different skill sets, different stacks, different frameworks, multiple languages. He or she may be a polyglot, and that is generally the characteristics of a tech lead. But that is just the technical portion. There's also a non-technical set of skills that a tech lead must possess to be able to be a good tech lead. And those are often non-technical, such as people skills, communication skills, analysis skills, problem-solving skills, and the ability generally to look at tough problems to solve them in a methodical and a pragmatic manner. So let's now talk about what skills you may need specifically to get to being a tech lead. If you're in a technical position currently, let's say you're in an intermediate or a senior position and you have an opportunity to step into a tech lead position, I would say take it. It will push your boundaries. It will challenge you in ways you maybe have not thought before. And if you have any interest in perhaps pursuing a career further in the technical side of engineering or in the management side, it may give you an option to evaluate both of those routes as you get an opportunity to step perhaps into technical leadership or sway into the technical side of things and go towards the architect path. So, focus on debugging first and foremost. This is my number one advice to you. If you want to be a tech lead, focus on debugging, because the number one thing that people will come to you as a lead will be, hey, I'm having this problem. I'm kind of stuck. I've Googled everywhere. I've looked at Stack Overflow. I've been debugging for the last 16 hours straight, and I just cannot seem to resolve this issue. So please help me. So a methodical approach to debugging, which by the way we'll cover in a future video, how to debug anything. And so once you have those debugging skills down, then having a breadth of experience and just exposure to a lot of different stacks, technologies, frameworks, languages, web, mobile, and all kinds of different applications will give you the leg up on being able to perform in that position. Otherwise, I don't think there's any specific technical skill you need to have. Like if I was to say, oh, you need to be a senior Java analyst or a Java developer to be a Java tech lead, it isn't so. Oftentimes, I've been in teams where tech leads are at the same level, perhaps, as senior leadership, and they've just decided to assume more responsibility because they like the people management side of things, or they want to explore different avenues such as interfacing with product owners, being a business analyst, reporting up to direct management to see what their opportunities and possibilities may be for future career growth. And that's totally fine. So the next question is often I get asked is, breadth versus depth as a tech lead. And I mean, it really varies. If you're going to be a tech lead for a team of React developers and you build React apps and you've got a couple of React devs and React devs only, then you may want to be a React expert to be that tech lead. But if you're in a general team, and this is the composition, usually you'd have a few back-end engineers, a front-end engineer, perhaps a DevOps engineer. You may also have a QA person present. There may or may not be a Scrum Master or a project manager, depending on the size of your team and organization. But you will most certainly have either a business analyst or a PO, a product owner, or someone who performs either or perhaps both of these functions as an interface to your team. So in that position, you'd want to have breadth. And breadth means, exposure to multiple areas of the business, which means not just technical things, but as I mentioned earlier, also being able to interface with the business. If you can look at a business requirements, understand it, and go, well, wait a minute, this is not technically feasible. It doesn't make sense. Or the amount of scope you've provided to us for these requirements is insufficient. So those kinds of questions and that ability to do some business analysis and almost product owner level stuff is going to be crucial for your success. In addition, being able to communicate, that means via email, on Slack, and being efficient and concise in your communication is going to be essential. I've been in so many situations where I've been working with other team leads on projects or in consulting gigs, and the tech lead simply didn't know how to communicate. So often I had to step into their role and to help with the communication in order to make sure that all parties were aligned and that the projects went smoothly. So communication is essential. Do not discount some of the other soft skills or the non-technical skills that we often pay less attention to. As a tech lead, they will be your goal. Now, the next question I get asked, is it worth it? Well, that's a very personal question, and it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a challenge, absolutely. I've been in many tech lead positions in my career, and I would have to say I would not have been wanted to be anything but. The experience, the challenge, being able to be put on the edge to solve some of the toughest problems has basically helped me grow into the person and the software engineer and developer that I am today. Now, that said, there is certain ways to evaluate how is it worth it. One could be career progression and growth. Absolutely. You'll get to put the nice little title on your resume. So the next role you look at, you're going to be going up in seniority and certainly up in money wise. But how much money exactly? This is the question that most of you probably want to know. So let's get into that for a quick moment here. Money wise, what I have seen, tech leads, again, this varies really on the organization, where you are in the world. But if you're in North America, generally what you will get paid is anywhere between 5 to maybe 20% more than the equivalent or the next senior software engineer on your team. So although that's not a lot more money, it certainly is a lot more responsibility. So at the end of the day, you have to make your own conclusions about whether you're looking for career growth, progression, a challenge, something new to do perhaps, an interface between people. And if you're more people oriented rather than being technical, huddled in front of a computer all day, perhaps that gives you a little break from the monotony of just coding and debugging all night. And on the money side, I mean, it's not really the cash that you're interested in or you should be interested in, because if you're looking for that, consulting or other avenues are definitely the far better route to making more money in technical positions. But as a tech lead, you should be looking at that as a gateway to say, okay, all right, I'll earn 5, 10, maybe 20% more now, but let me use this opportunity as a challenge to kind of maximize my output, because most of the time when you're looking at a tech lead position, you would already have had multiple years of experience under your belt. So at that time, what you're really interested in, and I'm just being honest here, is you're looking to maximize your capital, or your value. And value in terms of how much is your employer going to pay you. So why not be the tech lead and have some responsibility? A little bit of control also comes with that, but you do get a nice little paycheck bump, and that's not a bad thing to have. So anyway, that has been my experience with being a tech lead. There's obviously a lot more to this, but this is just a quick summary of the highlights that I've been asked over the years on how to become a tech lead and what questions people generally have around being a tech lead and in technical leadership. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any questions, ping me in the comments below. If you find any of this useful, please like and share. And thank you, and talk to you next time.